The Vorthak delegate's chittering laughter echoed through the crystalline halls of the Galactic Council chambers. His compound eyes gleamed with amusement as he gestured toward the holographic display showing Earth's pathetic fleet. "Behold!" Zektar clicked his mandibles mockingly. "The humans wish to join our esteemed council. Look at their primitive vessels, crude fusion drives, basic shields, laughably simple weapons." Dozens of advanced civilizations joined the mockery. The ethereal Lycians phased in and out with superior dimensional technology, while the mighty Gorvani flexed their massive forms, their ships capable of cracking planets. Ambassador Chen Wei stood stoically at the center, her face diplomatically composed despite the humiliation. She had volunteered for this mission, knowing it would likely end in ridicule, but humanity needed allies, or at least time. "Honored delegates," she began steadily, "humanity may be young, but we have qualities that could benefit this council. Our adaptability, our persistence." "Your what?" interrupted High Commander Vexlon of the Hegemony, his scarred reptilian features twisted in disdain. "Your ships are centuries behind our technology. Your weapons couldn't pierce our basic shields. What could you possibly offer us?" Chen's jaw tightened slightly. "Perhaps our perspective on warfare is different." This brought another wave of laughter. The Zorathi ambassador, a being of pure energy crackling within a containment suit, spoke with static-filled voice. "Different? Child species, we have fought wars across galactic clusters while your ancestors discovered fire. We have mastered every form of combat." "Then surely," Chen replied carefully, "you wouldn't mind a small demonstration? A war game? Nothing serious, just to show humanity deserves consideration." The laughter died as delegates exchanged glances. Finally, Zektar spoke. "A war game? You have 12 ships in your entire fleet. Our training exercises involve thousands." "One ship," Chen said quietly. "One ship against one of yours. Winner takes all. If we lose, humanity withdraws permanently. If we win, we get a seat." Silence followed, pregnant with disbelief. Then Vexlon's booming laughter shook the chamber. "One human ship against a council vessel? This is suicide." "Very well. I volunteer my dreadnought, the Worldbreaker. It shall make quick work of your scrap metal." As Chen bowed and requested permission to contact her fleet, none noticed the slight smile at her mouth's corners. They were so busy laughing at humanity's desperation that they failed to ask the most important question. If humanity was so primitive, why were they so confident? The Worldbreaker was a monument to hegemony, engineering 8 kilometers of dark metal bristling with enough firepower to reduce moons to asteroids. Vexlon stood on the command bridge, gazing at tactical displays with supreme confidence. "Status report," he rumbled. "All systems optimal, High Commander. Quantum cannons charged, void shields maximum. Target zone shows no contacts within 50,000 kilometers." Vexlon's lipless mouth curved in what passed for a smile. "Where is this pathetic human vessel? Surely they haven't fled." The Council had assembled hundreds of ships to witness humanity's inevitable humiliation. This would be remembered as the day upstart humans learned their place. Admiral Kresch's voice crackled over communications. "High Commander, perhaps the humans reconsidered? It would be unfortunate if they wasted our time with cowardice." "No," Vexlon replied, studying sensors. "Their ambassador guaranteed arrival. Humans may be primitive, but they seem stubborn. It will make their destruction more satisfying." Suddenly, the communications officer looked up. "High Commander, transmission from the human fleet." Ambassador Chen's face appeared on screen. Hi, Commander Vexlon. Thank you for accepting our challenge. I'm pleased to inform you that our champion has arrived and is ready. Vexlon's features twisted in confusion. Arrived? Our sensors detect no... Computer, Chen interrupted. Please signal the Shadow's Edge to decloak. For a moment, nothing happened. Then space itself rippled and tore directly before the Worldbreaker. Reality bent as something massive pushed through empty vacuum. The hegemony crew watched in stunned silence as a ship materialized from absolute nothingness. Not basic stealth shimmer, but true invisibility. The human vessel was sleek and predatory, its midnight black hull drinking starlight rather than reflecting it. Smaller than the Worldbreaker, perhaps 2 kilometers, but distinctly unsettling. Where the dreadnought was built like a fortress bristling with weapons, the human ship looked like a void-forged blade. "Impossible," whispered the sensor officer. There was nothing there. No mass shadow, no energy signature, no gravitational distortion. How can a ship be completely undetectable? Vexlon's confidence wavered. What kind of stealth technology is this? Chen's expression remained neutral, but steel entered her voice. We call it active camouflage. When you're the weakest species in the galaxy, you learn to fight smart rather than fair. The Shadow's Edge hung motionless, yet somehow threatening. No visible weapons, no obvious threats, yet every survival instinct Vexlon had developed screamed at him to run. "Captain Marcus Chen," came a new voice, calm, professional. "Commander of the Shadow's Edge. Ready to begin our demonstration?" Vexlon straightened, warrior pride reasserting itself. One trick, impressive stealth. It meant nothing against superior firepower. Begin when ready, human. This mockery has gone on long enough. Acknowledged. Beginning combat maneuvers now. The human ship vanished again. "Where did it go?" Vexlon snarled, claws digging into his command chair. "Full sensor sweep! Find that ship!" The Worldbreaker's advanced sensors, capable of detecting atoms across star systems, found nothing. The human vessel had vanished completely. No energy signatures, no mass readings, no gravitational anomalies. Impossible! No stealth technology is perfect. There's always some trace. Minutes ticked by with no contact. The Council fleet watched uneasily as the mighty Worldbreaker rotated helplessly, searching for an invisible enemy. Admiral Kresh's voice crackled. "High Commander, what is your status? Has the human vessel fled?" Before Vexlon could respond, Captain Chen's voice echoed through the bridge, not from communications, but from everywhere at once, as if he stood among them. "Still here, High Commander. Just getting a closer look at your impressive ship." Every officer spun around, weapons drawn, finding only empty air. Chen continued conversationally. "Fascinating design philosophy. All brute force and intimidation. Your armor is impressive, 18 meters of reinforced quantum steel. Your shields could deflect a small star's solar flare." "Stop playing games," Vexlon roared. "Fight like a warrior!" "Oh, but I am fighting. You're just not used to this kind of warfare." Suddenly, every screen displayed the same image, the Worldbreaker rotating helplessly in space, with a targeting reticle centered on the bridge. Right now, the Shadow's Edge is 50 meters from your primary reactor. My weapons are locked onto 17 critical systems. I could disable life support, engines, weapons, or shields individually, or simply core out your reactor immediately. Silence fell, except for electronic humming. Vexlon's tactical mind raced through scenarios, but every one ended the same. An invisible enemy with perfect positioning could strike at will. But where's the lesson in that? Admiral Kresh, are you monitoring? "We are. Observing." Good. High Commander, target coordinates 127, Mark 45, and fire. Vexlon's instincts rebelled, but curiosity overrode pride. Weapons, comply. The quantum cannons fired, energy capable of vaporizing cruisers striking empty space. Then, impossibly, the beams bent and twisted, redirected by something invisible back toward the Worldbreaker's own shields. Gravitational lensing, Chen explained. We've studied your weapons for months. The Shadow's edge doesn't just hide, it can bend space-time around its hull. Your weapons become tools we use against you. The implications hit like a physical blow. An undetectable enemy that could redirect their own firepower? This is impossible! You're barely Type 1 civilization! Chen's laugh was humorless. Because we've spent 50 years preparing for this moment. While you conquered primitive worlds, we studied, learned, innovated. When facing extinction, you develop solutions the comfortable never dream of. The Shadow's edge decloaked directly before the bridge viewports, its sleek hull filling the view. Now, shall we discuss humanity's council membership? The emergency council session convened within hours, the great amphitheater buzzing with nervous energy as delegates struggled to comprehend what they'd witnessed. High Commander Vexlon sat diminished in the witness chair, his pride shattered by defeat. "Explain," demanded Archon Veltar of the ancient Zarathi, her crystalline form refracting light into prismatic patterns. "How did a primitive species develop technology that renders our sensors useless?" Ambassador Chen stood at the center, no longer a supplicant, but a player who had changed the game's rules. "The answer is simple, Archon: necessity." Holographic displays materialized, showing Earth's recent history. 53 years ago, our monitoring stations detected the first council ships entering our solar system. We knew we were no longer alone and hopelessly outmatched. The displays showed Earth's frantic preparations, massive industrial projects, scientific breakthroughs achieved in years instead of decades, entire populations mobilized for survival. We had a choice: remain ignorant and hope for mercy, or prepare for the inevitable. We chose preparation. Every human government, corporation, research institution unified under one directive: ensure humanity's survival in a hostile galaxy. Admiral Kresh leaned forward. "But the resources required, your entire species would have had to dedicate everything." "We did," Chen's voice carried sacrifice's weight. "For half a century, humanity lived under total mobilization. Every discovery, advancement, resource allocation was evaluated through one lens: will this help us survive galactic contact? The hologram shifted to show massive construction facilities, hidden throughout Earth's solar system. Shipyards inside asteroids, research stations disguised as debris, entire fleets never appearing on official registries. While you saw 12 primitive ships representing our fleet, humanity has been building a shadow navy for decades. The Shadow's Edge isn't our only stealth vessel. It's simply the first we've revealed." Vexlon found his voice. "How many ships?" Chen's smile was enigmatic. "Enough." The Zarathi ambassador crackled with agitation. "This changes nothing. You lack industrial capacity to threaten established powers. Even hundreds of ships cannot stand against our combined fleets." "You're absolutely right. We can't match your numbers or firepower. That's why we didn't try." The chamber dimmed as the display expanded to show the entire galaxy. Hundreds of lights began blinking across the star map, carefully selected strategic locations. For 30 years, while you cataloged us as primitive, human deep strike vessels infiltrated your core systems, mining platforms near industrial worlds, communication relays in shipping lanes, research stations monitoring military exercises. Delegates stared in growing horror as implications became clear. The blinking lights weren't just observation posts. They were positioned for maximum infrastructure damage. Every major shipping route, resource node, communication hub in Council space has been under human observation for decades. We know your deployments, capabilities, weaknesses. Most importantly, we've planted insurance policies. Chen gestured, zooming in on specific worlds. We call it the Damocles Protocol. Mutually assured economic destruction. Attack humanity and watch your interstellar civilization collapse within months. The chamber erupted in angry voices, but Chen continued calmly. We've weaponized your infrastructure against you. We've created balance, Chen corrected. You've held power to eradicate humanity at will. Now we hold power to cripple your civilization in return. The question is, do we build something better or live in mutual fear? 3 days later, Deep Counselor Morthic of the ancient Eridani Collective requested a private meeting with Ambassador Chen. The aquatic being's environmental suit hummed as they met in a secure chamber, away from constant surveillance. "Your demonstration was impressive," Morthic gurgled through his translator. "But I represent perhaps the galaxy's most ancient civilization. We've survived galactic wars, stellar extinctions, empire collapses. Do you truly believe your insurance policies threaten a species that has endured 50 million years?" Chen activated a holographic projector, displaying detailed schematics of Eridani deep-sea cities. "Your civilization is indeed ancient, Deep Counselor, which is why we spent considerable time understanding how it works." The display zoomed in on massive underwater structures. "Your people evolved in crushing oceanic depths, developing technology based on pressure dynamics and fluid mechanics. Your cities exist in perfect harmony with aquatic environments, connected by thermal vents providing energy for your entire civilization." Morthic's pentacles writhed uneasily as he recognized his homeworld's most protected secrets displayed perfectly. 12 years ago, the automated mining vessel Deep Current suffered catastrophic failure near your primary thermal network. Our records show it crashed into Trench Complex 7 Alpha, killing all aboard. Tragic accident, I remember. Our rescue teams found nothing but debris. That's because the Deep Current was never really a mining vessel. It was a human infiltration ship, and its failure was carefully planned insertion. Chief Engineer Sarah Park and her team spent 3 years in your ocean's deepest parts, learning your technology, studying your infrastructure. The hologram shifted to show microscopic devices throughout the thermal vent system. Nanoscale thermal regulators designed to look like natural mineral deposits. Currently dormant, but if activated, they would destabilize the precise pressure and temperature balances keeping your cities habitable. Your people wouldn't die, changes would be too gradual, but your entire civilization would be forced to relocate. Morthic's ancient mind processed implications. Forced relocation would be survivable, but require centuries of preparation, leaving the Eridani completely vulnerable during transition. Why tell me this? Because I want you to understand that humanity doesn't threaten extinction. We threaten inconvenience. Expensive, civilization-disrupting, economically devastating inconvenience. The kind that makes conquest pointless. Chen deactivated the hologram. "But I also want you to know we have no desire to use these measures. Every contingency plan has built-in safeguards and reversibility protocols. We're not interested in galactic domination. We just want to survive and develop in peace." The Deep Counselor was quiet for minutes, weighing implications. Finally, "Your species has accomplished something remarkable. In 50 years, barely an instant by our standards, you've gone from primitive isolation to holding galactic infrastructure hostage. But what happens next? This balance cannot last forever." You're right, which is why humanity proposes something unprecedented, true mutual interdependence. Not the current system where powerful species dominate weaker ones, but genuine cooperation where every civilization contributes something vital. And what does humanity contribute beyond threats? Chen smiled. Innovation born from desperation. While you've been comfortable in power, we've been forced to solve problems you never knew existed. The Grand Assembly had never seen such attendance. Representatives from over 300 species filled the vast amphitheater, while countless others participated via quantum link. The question would reshape interstellar civilization. Should humanity join the Council? And should they adopt humanity's proposed restructuring? Ambassador Chen sat in the witness section, maintaining diplomatic composure while her heart hammered. Months of negotiations had led to this moment, but the outcome remained uncertain. The galaxy's most powerful civilizations were being asked to voluntarily limit their dominance. Archon Veltar called the assembly to order, her crystalline form refracting light into cascading rainbows. We convene to address humanity's petition for council membership and their proposal for governmental restructuring. High Commander Vexlin will present the military assessment. The massive hegemony officer stood grimly. Fellow delegates, I've spent months reviewing humanity's capabilities. The conclusion is unavoidable. Despite technological inferiority in raw terms, humans represent the galaxy's most sophisticated intelligence and infiltration network. Murmurs rippled as Vexlin continued. They have systematically compromised every major power's infrastructure, not through superior force, but through patience, ingenuity, and willingness to sacrifice everything for long-term objectives. Humanity has achieved strategic parity through asymmetric warfare. Admiral Kresh added, our security sweeps identified human monitoring stations in 87% of Council space. Their intelligence operation spans 5 decades, including detailed analysis of our industrial, military, and political capabilities. They know our weaknesses better than we do. Deep Counselor Morthic's measured voice quieted nervous delegates. The question isn't whether humanity poses a threat. They clearly do. The question is whether this threat can become an asset. I've analyzed their proposals, and they offer something unprecedented, sustainable galactic governance. Professor Zalana of the Zerathi Science Directorate rose. I've reviewed humanity's technological developments. Their innovation rate is unprecedented, not because they're more intelligent, but because they're desperate. Desperation drives creativity in ways comfort never can. The debate continued for hours, but gradually consensus emerged around a central truth. Humanity had already changed galactic power balance. The question was whether to harness that change constructively or destructively. Finally, Archon Veltar called for votes. Humanity's Council membership? Approved, 67%. Governance restructuring emphasizing cooperation? Approved, 58%. Joint technology sharing programs? Approved, 71%. Mutual defense based on interdependence? Approved, 63%. The proposals are adopted, Veltar announced. Humanity is granted full Council membership contingent upon gradually dismantling infiltration networks and sharing technological innovations. Chen stood. Honored delegates, humanity accepts with gratitude. We pledge to share innovations freely and work toward a galaxy where no species chooses between submission and extinction. She paused, looking around the chamber. But we're not dismantling our networks, we're transforming them. Every monitoring station, every infiltration site, every intelligence asset will become nodes in a galaxy-wide cooperative intelligence network. Instead of gathering information to threaten civilizations, we'll gather it to protect them, and you'll have access to everything we learn. The implications were staggering. Instead of humanity's shadow network being feared, it would become the foundation for unprecedented galactic cooperation. High Commander Vexlin stood. You've turned the galaxy's greatest intelligence apparatus into a gift for former enemies. Why? Chen's answer was simple. Because we've learned the best way to ensure survival is making yourself indispensable to everyone else's. 6 months after the vote, Captain Marcus Chen stood on the Shadow's Edge bridge as it approached Kepler 442 system. But this time, his ship wasn't hidden. It flew openly alongside vessels from a dozen Council species, participating in humanity's first joint exploration mission as full galactic citizens. Sensors indicate 3 potentially habitable worlds, reported Lieutenant Commander Yuki Tanaka. One shows signs of early industrial civilization. Another, first contact situation, mused Dr. Elena Vasquez, the mission's xenobiologist. Amazing how different this feels when approaching as friends instead of preparing for war. Marcus nodded, watching the mixed fleet work in perfect coordination. The integration hadn't been without challenges. 50 years of paranoid preparation didn't disappear overnight, but results exceeded everyone's expectations. The Vorthak provided cultural analysis expertise. The Hegemony contributed advanced defensive systems. The Eridani offered deep time perspective and environmental technologies. Humanity brought adaptive intelligence networks and innovative problem-solving. "Captain," came High Commander Vexlon's voice from the Worldbreaker, "our cultural analysis suggests this civilization may be entering their industrial revolution. First contact protocols recommend extreme caution." Marcus smiled at the irony. The same commander who had dismissed humanity as primitives now worked as his equal partner in delicate diplomatic missions. "Understood, High Commander. Our intelligence assets are already positioned for preliminary observation. We should have comprehensive cultural profiles within 72 hours. Human stealth ships had been monitoring Kepler 442 for months, not preparing for conquest, but groundwork for potential peaceful contact. The galaxy's cooperative intelligence network meant no species would face terrifying uncertainty of first contact with unknown civilizations. Preliminary reports suggest a species similar to pre-contact humanity. Ambassador Chen's voice joined from diplomatic vessel New Geneva. Technologically advanced enough to be dangerous, but not yet interstellar capable. They've detected our presence, but haven't determined our intentions. Perfect opportunity to test new protocols, added Deep Counselor Morthak from his oceanic ship. This species will be our first chance to demonstrate that galactic civilization has moved beyond conquest-based expansion. The new protocols were humanity's gift, comprehensive systems based on decades studying how species reacted to superior civilizations. Instead of overwhelming force followed by submission demands, protocols emphasized gradual revelation, cultural respect, and mutual benefit. Intelligence indicates they call themselves Zephyrians, Dr. Vasquez reported. Silicon-based life forms with distributed consciousness. Their civilization built around artistic expression and mathematical harmony. Military applications appear minimal. They've never experienced large-scale warfare. Marcus felt familiar tightness in his chest. Another young species, vulnerable and alone, about to discover they weren't the universe's only intelligence. Unlike humanity's experience 50 years ago, the Zephyrians would be welcomed into a galaxy that had learned diversity's value. All ships initiating Phase 1 contact protocols, Ambassador Chen announced. Zephyrian mathematics indicates they should respond well to harmonic frequency patterns. As the fleet prepared for humanity's first contact mission as galactic citizens, Marcus reflected on his species' incredible journey. 50 years ago, they were terrified primitives preparing for extinction. Today, they led cooperative efforts to welcome others into the galactic community. The galaxy had learned that survival wasn't about being strongest. It was about being indispensable.